Welcome back, everyone. We are back in Studio 61 talking all things motorcycle safety, because as the warmer weather is among us, obviously more people are going to be taking to the roads, whether it is in their convertibles or on their motorcycles. We are back joined by Connecticut State Police Sergeant Christine Jeltema. Welcome back.
Thank
this is
you.
Very important stuff to talk about. Not only are we talking about once the motorcycles get out on the roads, but it is Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. So we want to talk about with people and motorcyclists, what do we do before we get out on the roadways? Let's talk some safety tips.
Sure. So obviously, if the motorcycle has been sitting in storage, make sure that everything is working normally. If they have working headlamps, they have their mirrors that are required by statute to have. If they're traveling with passengers, obviously their motorcycles should have an area that is specific for passengers. Some other things that people need to look for is wearing those protective gears, clothing, whether it's jackets, gloves, riding boots, pants, helmets. And one thing that we always reiterate when it comes to whether it's a motorcycle or a vehicle is ditching those distractions. We ask that people that are traveling out on the roadways, and even motorcyclists, if they have them, to utilize their turn signals. If they're switching from lane to lane, oftentimes the motorcycles aren't seen in mirrors because they're smaller in size. So asking other drivers who are in vehicles to be mindful of those motorcycles that are out on the roadway.
It is really important. And also something to note is to make sure everyone has eye protection and wear a helmet. We want everyone to be safe, and especially on a holiday weekend, we know a lot of people are going to be on the roads. Wear eye protection, wear your helmet, be safe.
Yes, eye protection is required unless you have a windshield. So that is something that we often see. One thing that we really want to reiterate is also motorcycles splitting lanes in traffic. Oftentimes, if there is traffic, it's against the law to split the lanes to travel down the roadways in between vehicles while they're on the highways. And it's very, very dangerous, not for the motorcycle operator, but also for any vehicles that might be out on the roadway, and if there are already hazards in those areas that they're traveling.
I sat with the Department of Transportation and some local law enforcement over the last couple of weeks for motorcycle safety awareness, and something that we have talked about time and time again, Sergeant Jeltema, is that you cannot treat a motorcyclist the same as someone that is in a car, because
Correct.
It is completely different. They do not have the vessel around them to keep them safe.
Correct, yes, and that's huge. Oftentimes you might not hear them or see them in your mirrors if you're switching lanes, or even just being aware if you're at a stoplight or a stop sign. Take an extra look just to make sure that the motorcycle is not traveling through the intersections, or even out on the roadways. If you're pulling out of your driveway, take that extra look, because oftentimes the motorcycles are so small and they're not protected like vehicles and airbags like vehicles are. So we want people to look for them when they're out on the roadways, especially now that the weather is getting nice and people will be out in their motorcycles.
And especially now that it's 2023, a lot of the vehicles have the lane detection. They have all of the protective things to say, don't go out of the lane, there's a car coming, but it might not detect a motorcycle. So all of these tips, all to keep our motorcyclists safe out there. Sergeant Jeltema, we always appreciate you taking the time coming in the studio.